Oh, look at that. Popped up already. Well, hi there. I'm First Warn 5, Meteorologist Mike Nicco. A couple different buttons, I guess, will put you on the air. Hey, thanks for joining me on this Saturday evening as we're going to walk through the next 7 days, which does bleed into next weekend, which is looking pretty stormy the way it's looking right now, but we've got so much to go through before we get there. So let me get the graphics lined up here and we will get underway. What we're going to first start talking about is the new first warn for tomorrow. Foggy in the morning. Dangerously low visibility. It sure is possible if you're heading out early, maybe heading off to church or some kind of service, or going to work out or walking the dog. Just want you to be careful there. And we still have the first warn that continues for Monday. We're going to watch those rounds of showers actually increase as we head into the afternoon and into the evening hours. And we've got one more. Not a first round, not a first warn, I should say. And let me get myself off there so you can see the entire Thanksgiving Day feast. Yeah, doesn't that look good? It's going to be much colder. We got a polar plunge around Thanksgiving. That's going to take our temperatures from above average back down below average. And this cold weather, while not as cold as the last one we had, it's going to stick around longer. The last one stuck around like 2.5 days. This one's going to stick around probably 4 days, 3 days at least for sure. All right, so let's talk about Sunday morning, then we'll walk through everything else. Really highlighting the time from about 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's when it looks like the fog will be thickest around most of our neighborhoods. Now, looking outside right now, pretty quiet. Oh, somebody turned our tower cam. Well, you can see the tower. How about that? That looks pretty interesting, doesn't it? Let's move on and show you the dense fog advisory. And it's mainly from I-70 southward, or from the river, if you will, on the Missouri side southward. This was issued by the National Weather Service a while ago, about a couple hours after we issued the first warn for this change. They're going for a 10-hour span from about midnight tonight through 10 a.m. in the morning. So let's kind of run through some of the latest data, and you could see by 2 a.m. in the morning, we're already starting to see some patches of dense fog, especially around some rivers and the lakes, like around Lawrence and here in Kansas City and down towards Clinton and Butler. And watch as this just spreads and just oozes, especially, well, I was supposed to have a pause point there, especially right there around 8, 9 o'clock. It's around the Missouri River in northwest Missouri, northeast Kansas, and also from about the Missouri River southward, as we talked about, and around I-70 southward in Kansas. So that's what we're going to be dealing with in the morning. And then it's going to be slow to move out because the sun angle this time of year is so low. We've got to get the sun to penetrate that fog to warm the ground. The ground then finally warms the air, and the air starts to rise and mix out. Low sun angle this time of year is hard to do. Plus, we've got a very light wind tomorrow, so there won't be much mixing out from the wind. So the sun's going to have to pretty much go it alone on this one. And so it's going to take a couple of good hours to get out there. Now, will it affect your time out at Arrowhead? Sure, it could, especially for one of the first ones getting out there early in line. You'll be sitting at the gates in the fog, and then once you get in, you'll be tailgating in the fog, and that fog is going to make it feel, you know how it is when it's damp and kind of chilly. It just, it hurts a little more if you sneeze, or if you, I don't know, do something while you're getting ready for the game. Maybe it just, it just hurts a little bit more. So there's something to think about. But then by the time we get to kickoff, sunshine's breaking out. Look at that, we're up to 56. Light breezes, halftime about 59, and pretty comfortable in the fourth quarter, especially if you're in the sunshine, and 59 degrees. Gotta take Colts down. I mean, they're having a great year, but if we want to have a good year, got to do it too. So jackets for tailgates, and then layers, because you'll want to get rid of some layers as you go throughout the tailgate, and also inside, depending on where you're standing or sitting. You'll want hats and gloves, and definitely some sunglasses, as it'll be pretty bright by the time we get into the afternoon hours. All right, so let's move forward. We've got that next shower chance Monday, so this is kind of what to expect the rest of Thanksgiving week. That polar plunge, that does include Thanksgiving Day, and then the weekend system, increasing chances for showers next Saturday and Sunday. And some of those models are trying to put out a little wintry mix Saturday morning. Not quite sold on it, but it's something we're keeping our eye on. And I really talk a lot about that on our website. And I'll run through it a little bit more as we go here. Let's talk about what to expect tomorrow. foggy, then sunshine, 59 degrees. The average tomorrow is about 51, so that's pretty nice. Those light breezes and that warmer than average. So that pretty much sums it up in a nutshell. And we'll keep our first warning through about 9 o'clock. I'll take a look at the latest data. Maybe we can extend it to 10, but 9 o'clock for sure. And we'll be in the 30s through 7 o'clock, 40s at 10 o'clock, and then 50s starting around 11 o'clock all the way through the evening, when we'll be around 53 degrees tomorrow evening. We'll start to see some high clouds move in out ahead of this system. Monday, that first warning, showers increasing during the day. I mean, we're rapid fire here. We're moving on to the next first warn. And here's the way Monday starts out. About a 30 to 40% chance in the morning at 46. So the morning commute not nearly as impacted by the evening commute. But you see where I say areas of fog. So if you're not receiving showers Monday morning, there is the potential we could have some areas of thick fog once again, especially north of Kansas City. Once the showers come in, they'll take care of that fog. It'll just be more of a low visibility event. And then as we head through the afternoon, we don't warm up much, maybe 10 degrees. It's still warmer than average, 56, but you can see the shower chance increasing to 70%. The wind's picking up around 10 to 20, so that'll make it feel a little raw in the afternoon and evening. So let's break down your rain chances. We got 30% at 7 o'clock. As we end the morning commute, we're looking at about a 40% chance. And then the first warn will kick in around 11 o'clock. And we just keep crescendoing these rain chances. They climb 50 at 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 60, afternoon, early evening, 70, but then the system rides out to the east rather quickly. We're down to 40% by the end of the commute. Unfortunately, that is the end of the commute, and then only at 20% at 9 o'clock, and that will be the last we talk about that system as far as rain potential. Let's take a look at it in a different view. Let's see what kind of real estate it's going to take up and who's most likely to receive some of this rain. And here you can see it's very scattered at 5 o'clock Monday morning. And you can see it gets a little more scattered, a little more widespread. That's that 30 to 40% chance as we head through 9 o'clock, especially west of 35. And then it starts to march off to the east. And that's why we have the first warn through the lunch hour. You can see some heavier showers there. Clap of thunder, sure, it's possible. Is it likely? It's small. Severe weather, no chance. Not anywhere on the board. But you'll definitely want to have the rain gear. You'll definitely want to take some extra time to get somewhere because the roads will be wet for a better part of the day once the rain starts to move in. And you want to make sure you have the kids dressed properly. Make sure they have their wet weather gear. Even if they don't need it in the morning, they look outside and they tell you, "Oh, Mom, it's not raining. I don't need it." And you say, "Trust me, you're going to need it on the way home from school." And, the later you wait to get to school, the more likely you're going to need it. And we got a lot of yellow and orange out there, and that looks pretty impressive. And the rainfall amounts, as this pulls away, there may be a few sprinkles as we head through the evening hours Monday, but for the most part, the heaviest of it's over. We are looking at a quarter. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let me show you what we're going to have through the morning commute. So you can see those areas around 35 are most impacted, but that's pretty light amounts. It's going to make it wet. There's no puddles to worry about. There's no standing water, not on any of that. But as we head into the afternoon and evening, you can see we ramp up. We get up around a quarter of an inch to half inch in many areas. And if that comes down in a couple hours, you may get a puddle here or there, but it'll definitely keep things slippery all the way through the afternoon and evening. Now, the next 3 days, once we get past Monday, Tuesday is going to be nice. Sunshine's coming back out. We're still warmer than average at 54, but let me show the rest of the high temperatures versus average. And then there's that polar front. And look at those temperatures, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, low to mid 40s. Good news, this front, if you're traveling Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be dry. It's going to be quiet. But then as we get a little bit deeper into the forecast, you can see by the time we get to Saturday, we start to introduce a 40% chance of wet weather. And notice the temperature Saturday morning, 32 degrees. Okay? If this comes in a little earlier, it could be a wintry mix. But will it stick to anything? No. It won't be heavy enough. The ground will be way too warm. Even after that 46 on Friday, it should be way too warm for anything to stick. But, if this is a much stronger system, and there are signs that we could upgrade it to a first warn, we'll have to rethink those things. But we've got a couple of days to do that. And so before we get to that, let's talk about Sunday, 59, nice weather. Those temperatures are in the mid 40s to upper 40s, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, pretty nice. Heater's not going to run a lot the next couple of days, but then it's going to run a lot. I mean, temperatures are below freezing starting Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, and early Saturday. Temperatures will actually be rising as that next band of moisture comes in Saturday. It's another reason why I'm not as concerned with it being wintry right now, because the temperature will rise as that storm comes in. But for the most part, just keep it here. We'll keep fine-tuning the forecast. We'll keep letting you know. I know Saturday's going to be a big shopping day, maybe a big day to get the holiday decorations up, maybe get the tree, do some other things. Some people are traveling on Saturday to beat the Sunday rush. I get it. And that's why we want to keep you informed. So that's the way it looks. Your Security Bank 7-day forecast going through tomorrow into Saturday. Thanks for stopping by. We're coming up at 10 o'clock. We're going to have another update on the television if you want to join us. I'm going to take a look at some new information, tweak the forecast just a little bit. And of course, thanks for stopping by. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you again tomorrow night.